Conor McGregor has made enemies everywhere throughout his career. But there's one man who still refuses to let the past die. Former boxing world champion Paulie Malignaggi just reignited one of combat sports' most bitter feuds, and this time, he's calling Conor McGregor a coward. Not only that, Paulie says Conor will never fight him. Ever. And the reason why? According to Malignaggi, the full sparring footage from 2017 would completely expose what really happened behind closed doors. This feud goes all the way back to one of the biggest fights in combat sports history. Conor McGregor was preparing for his massive crossover boxing match against Floyd Mayweather. The entire world was watching. Fans wanted to know if the UFC superstar could actually survive against one of the greatest boxers ever. So McGregor brought in experienced boxing champions to help him prepare. One of them was Paulie Malignaggi. At the time, Paulie was a respected former world champion known for his sharp boxing IQ, slick movement, and elite experience. But what started as training quickly turned into chaos. Because after sparring sessions between the two leaked into the public, everything exploded. Photos surfaced showing Malignaggi on the canvas. Then Conor McGregor released short clips appearing to show him dropping Paulie during sparring. Immediately, McGregor fans celebrated. Social media went insane. People claimed Conor embarrassed a former boxing champion. But Paulie Malignaggi had a completely different story. He insisted it wasn't a knockdown at all. According to him, Conor pushed him. And ever since that moment, the rivalry between the two has never cooled down. Years later, they're still attacking each other publicly. And now, Paulie just poured gasoline on the fire again. Ahead of his bare-knuckle boxing world title fight this weekend in Manchester, Malignaggi sat down with bloody elbow and absolutely unloaded on McGregor. And he didn't hold back. Paulie claimed fans have a better chance of seeing pigs fly than ever seeing Conor agree to fight him. That's how confident he is. According to Malignaggi, Conor already knows exactly what happened in those sparring sessions. And in Paulie's mind, that's the reason the full footage has never been released. Because he says it would reveal a completely different story than the one McGregor sold to the world. Malignaggi even claimed he was badly out of shape at the time. Think about that. He says he wasn't even close to his best physically, and still believes he outboxed Conor during those sessions. Now imagine hearing that if you're Conor McGregor. Because Paulie didn't stop there. He went even further. He accused McGregor of quitting in multiple fights throughout his UFC career and claimed everything he ever said about Conor eventually came true. That's personal. Very personal. And honestly, that's why this feud has lasted so long. This isn't normal trash talk anymore. There's genuine resentment here. Paulie clearly feels that McGregor manipulated public perception with carefully edited clips and highlight reels. Meanwhile, Conor has always treated the situation like proof that he could hang with elite boxers. But here's what makes this story fascinating all these years later. Neither man has truly let it go. Even after everything that's happened since 2017, the money, the fame, the fights, the scandals, this rivalry still lives on. And strangely enough, it may actually be more interesting now than it was back then. Because today, both men are in completely different places in their careers. Paulie Malignaggi is preparing to fight for a bare-knuckle boxing world title. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor is once again teasing a return to combat sports. Dana White says Conor wants back in the UFC. Rumors continue about possible fights. But with McGregor, nothing is ever simple. Every comeback seems surrounded by delays, injuries, controversy, or uncertainty. And now this old rivalry is suddenly being talked about again, especially because of BKFC. Conor McGregor is now heavily involved with the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship as part owner and promoter. He constantly talks about loving the brutality of bare knuckle fighting. He even hints that one day he might compete in it himself. And if that ever happened, one name immediately jumps back into the conversation: Paulie Malignaggi. Because Paulie already fought in BKFC years ago. And despite losing his debut, he never stopped talking about McGregor. Not once. The anger never disappeared. The frustration never faded. He still wants people to know what really happened in that sparring room. That's why the unreleased footage has become almost mythical in combat sports culture. Fans still debate it today. Was it a real knockdown? Was it a push? Did Conor actually dominate the sparring? Or was the footage edited to protect McGregor's image? Nobody fully knows. And that mystery keeps the feud alive. But here's the reality. An actual fight between them probably never happens. Conor McGregor has massive options available if he returns. UFC super fights. Huge pay-per-view events. Legacy fights worth millions. Meanwhile, Paulie continues building his own path in boxing and bare-knuckle competition. The business side alone makes the matchup difficult. Still, the emotional side of it? That's different. Because sometimes the biggest fights aren't about rankings or championships. Sometimes they're about unfinished business. Ego. Pride. Revenge. And this feud has all three. You can hear it every time Paulie speaks about Conor. There's still genuine emotion there. Years later, he still sounds angry. Still sounds insulted. Still sounds determined to prove something. And honestly, that's rare. Most combat sports feuds eventually fade away. This one somehow survived nearly a decade. That tells you how deep the bad blood really goes. At the end of the day, maybe we never get closure. Maybe the full sparring footage never gets released. Maybe McGregor never responds. And maybe the fight itself never happens. But the fact fans are still debating what happened in a training session from 2017 tells you everything you need to know. Because some rivalries don't end after the fight. Some rivalries become bigger than the fight itself. And for Paulie Malignaggi and Conor McGregor, the war outside the ring may never truly end. So what do you think? Did Conor McGregor really dominate Paulie Malignaggi in sparring? Or was the footage edited to hide the truth? And would you actually want to see these two finally settle things for real? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because in combat sports, old rivalries never truly die.